What is up, everybody? Stacey Blackwood here from the Tide Talk podcast, joined as always by my good buddy Jake Thomas. Jake, what's happening, brother?
Man, just enjoying Sunday as much as you can, knowing you gotta go back to work on a Monday. But it's been a good weekend for Bama fans. Unfortunately, lost to Kentucky, but the baseball and softball team's showing out right now. So at least we got that going for us.
Yeah, good weekend on the diamond for the Crimson Tide. The softball team is dominating early here on in the season. Got wins over Virginia Tech, Middle Tennessee State over the weekend, maybe somebody else. But just a dominating weekend for the ladies on the diamond. And then the baseball team gets a sweep as well over Xavier. So
Hmm.
really good weekend on the diamond for the Crimson Tide. And like you said, the basketball team fell short there
Hmm.
in Lexington after a hot start, but still got a lot to look forward to
Oh
for the
yeah.
hoops team. They wasn't expected to win that game anyways. They came out hot, kind of lost the momentum there when Darius Miles got called for the flagrant and all that went down. So it kind of turned into a different ball game. But we're not here to talk about that. As you can see, we're here to talk about the College Football Playoff Committee deciding to remain at 4 teams through the 2025 season when the 12-year contract expires, and they're going to be discussing it further on what they should do next. But before we dive into that real deep, first of all, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We've surpassed our first goal of 500. We're over 600 now. We're trying to reach our next goal of 1,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and give this video a huge thumbs up. And while you're at it, jump in the comment section and answer our question of what we're going to be talking about today. Are you good with the committee's decision to keep it at 4 for now, or do you want the college football playoff expanded right now? So just jump in the comments and let us know. We would be glad to interact with you there in the post recording there in the comment section. So do all that for us. We would greatly appreciate it. But Jake, let's just jump right in. Like I said, the committee's decided to keep it at 4 until the contract expires after the 2025 season. But are you happy with this ruling, and kind of what's your expectations kind of moving forward with the playoff?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine with it. I mean, I was fine with the BCS system because with the old BCS system, 9 out of 10 times we got it right. There might have been that one year where somebody got in that absolutely shouldn't have been in. But we have talked about this before. The top 4 teams, if they do expand, your top 4 teams is going to be your top 4 teams, and they're going to be playing for a national championship. That's just how it is. I'm sorry. And we've talked about it 100 times over, and we keep saying it. This isn't basketball. You really don't have a Cinderella team in football. It's just too much talent discrepancies and stuff on football than it is with basketball. Basketball is about luck and about getting shots to go down. And the number one team in basketball, they may be playing a nobody one night, but if they can't make anything, guess what? That nobody can sneak up and beat them. So it's different, in that aspect. So I'm fine with it staying 4. Now in the future, I'm pretty sure it's going to go to at least 12. And when that happens, then everybody can go back and see what we talked about, that your top 14 is going to be in it regardless. All it's really giving us is extra football, which I'm fine with, but you know, I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. The BCS got it right more than it didn't. And to me,
Hmm.
the college football playoff with the 4 teams has gotten it right every time. Now, you
Right.
may could disagree with the seeding perhaps, but
Yeah.
isn't the goal just to get the 4 best teams in? Like the
Hmm.
seeding really isn't that relevant once you're in the playoff.
Right.
So, because you don't really get an advantage. I mean, location but I mean, when you step between the lines, all that matters is who has the best football team on that day. So
Hmm.
um I'm with you. I think the 4 teams is great. We've talked about it numerous times on our show about how we love the 4 team playoff format. We think it's worked very well over the
Yeah.
past several years that they've done it. I mean, we saw this last year with Cincinnati getting in, one of the best group of 5 teams that we've had in the last 20 years. And Alabama played a B-minus game and still beat them handily.
Yeah.
I mean, they did whatever they wanted to do, and Alabama didn't even play that well.
Right.
I mean, so what are we gaining by having more games like that? I mean,
Nothing.
taking a bigger chance of getting a star quarterback hurt, is that what we want? I mean, We want Bryce Young to get hurt in the 1 versus 8 matchup in tear his ACL. We want that.
Right, exactly.
We want Will Anderson or N'Kobe Dean for Georgia this last year. Jordan Davis. We want one of those guys to get hurt against Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
Is that what we want for college football?
Hmm.
And I know you can say, well, injuries are part of the game. Yeah, but how about let's not play these guys 20 games in the year when they're amateur athletes?
Yeah. This ain't the NFL yet.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
exactly. And I know there's
Mhm.
NIL, but that's totally different. They're not getting paid to play. They're getting paid because of who they are.
Exactly.
So I'm with you. I think the 4 teams is great. But like I said, this is only through the 2025 season. Once the contract expires, the original contract that was laid out when this first started. So, Jake, once the 2025 season is completed, what are you expecting the College Football Playoff Committee to do moving forward?
I believe, they'll probably just start discussing things and trying to lay it out on, like we said, probably a 12 team playoff. Will it be in the 2026 season? I doubt it. They may extend it to maybe 2027, 2028 before we get our first expansion. I mean, you just can't, you know, put it in, the next year. You got to have preparations, and it's going to take a while, I think, to get everybody online with and to set something up. It ain't going to be just the next year after the 2025 season.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you can't just arbitrarily say after the 2025 season without, a lot of meetings and planning and just say, yeah, well, we're going to a 12-team playoff. So
Right.
I'm with you. I think expansion is coming. It's obviously, I don't know if it's going to be the 2026 season. I'm with you. It's probably going to be more like the 2028 season, unless
Hmm.
the committee comes out and says, after this following season or, this summer, they say, well, we decided that after the 2025 season, this is going to be our plan moving forward. If they start planning now, then maybe so they can make it happen in 2026. But if no
Right.
planning is made ahead of time, then I just can't see them arbitrarily making it a 12-team playoff, after the 2025 season. But we're both in agreement that after the 2025 season, there will at least be more talks about expansion coming, and somewhere down the road, there will be playoff expansion, whether you like it or not. So, if you don't
Hmm.
like it like we do, you're just going to have to bite the bullet and live with it. And that's what we're
Yep.
willing to do. I mean, I'm still going to watch college football. It's not going to really
Oh
change
yeah.
anything for me, but I just feel like I don't think what we're gaining justifies changing what we're doing. I
Right.
mean, we've and people are like, well, we need different teams winning championships. Well, I mean, good luck with that. I
Yeah.
mean, you're just going to give Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State an opportunity to lose a game that really don't mean nothing.
Right. Exactly.
Now, okay, now they Ohio State's heading into to the Big 12 or the Big 10 championship game if they even still have championship games, and they're
Hmm.
automatically going to be in regardless. And they're playing a team that's not really vying for a playoff spot unless they win the championship. What does Ohio State gain by winning the matchup if they're
Exactly.
already in the playoff? What are they gaining?
Exactly.
Or
Yeah.
they're undefeated the second to the last game of the year before they play Michigan, and let's just say they're playing somebody like Rutgers who hasn't won a game all year. Well, Ohio State's going to sit their Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback because the game don't matter. They're going to be in regardless.
Hmm. Yeah.
Is that what we want for college football? And don't say it's not going to happen. Look at the NFL.
Hmm. Yeah.
Don't say it's not going to happen. It's gonna happen. Is
Yep.
that do I mean, why are we trying to turn this game into the National Football League?
It's totally different. You
Yes.
know, different league, different rules, different setup. But
Yeah.
yet we're trying to make it like the NFL.
The college football season and the college football as a whole is different because of the regular season,
Right.
because every game matters.
Hmm.
Literally every game matters. And even with the 4-team playoff, it's not quite like it used to be, but it's still pretty dang important. Jake, Alabama, I mean, every game matters. Alabama had to win that SEC championship game to get in.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
so I just don't want to lose the importance of the regular season. because it means something. I think that's what separates college football from the other big sports in America. So I hope we don't lose that, but eventually it's going to happen, and I guess we can whine and cry about that until the cows come home. But
Right.
because there's nothing we can do about it. But I just hate to see us ruin what makes college football so special.
Absolutely. And going off on your point, just to add, uh, we're also going to be taking away rivalries, and I hate that. That's been integrated in the game since the start of college football. I mean, unless things change, the Iron Bowl, when we always talk about it, don't mean nothing. But truly, if it goes to an expansion, if Alabama's, if they move to a 12-team playoff, Alabama is undefeated going into the Iron Bowl. Why? I mean, why should we rest our guys up for the championship? SEC championship game. I don't blame us. I don't. I don't blame us. Your voice. Yeah, you turn.
At
Yeah.
the end of the day, people are going to use the argument. Well, it's a rivalry game. They're going to play.
No.
Not when the ultimate goal is to win a championship.
Exactly. Right.
I'm sorry, but the
Mhm.
ultimate goal for Nick Saban in Alabama is not to beat Auburn.
No, it's to win a national championship.
Exactly. I mean, so
Mhm.
if doing something against Auburn is going to help them, if sitting Bryce Young, Will Anderson, Dallas Turner,
Mhm.
you know, Jameer Gibbs, Jermaine Burton,
Mhm.
Henry To'oTo'o, if sitting those guys against Auburn in the Iron Bowl is going to benefit Alabama moving forward for the rest of the year, then that's what they're going to do. They're
Exactly.
not going to play. Well, we're even though we're in the playoff and we don't want to risk injury, we're still going to roll out our Heisman winning quarterback because it's the Iron Bowl.
Right.
No, I'm
No.
sorry, you're naive if you believe that.
Exactly. Yep.
I'm not saying that's how it's going to be to begin with, but eventually, I mean, everything starts small. You
Right.
don't. I mean, everything just doesn't all happen at once. Look
Mhm.
at the transfer portal. First, it used to be, well, you had to sit out regardless.
Yeah.
Then it was, well, if you're a graduate, you can transfer and play.
Mhm.
Uh, Now it's all. It don't matter what you do. You just, I mean, if you just want to leave for shits and giggles, you just leave for shits and giggles. You can go play somewhere else the next day. It's pretty much how it is.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But it didn't
Yeah.
start out that way. That's my point. I'm not saying all this is going to happen the first year that we expand to more teams. I'm just saying eventually these are the things that you're going to see happen. Those unintended consequences that Nick Saban talks about all the time.
Mhm.
He talked about it with the transfer portal. He talked about it with the early signing period, which
Yeah.
I mean, he talked about it with NIL. He's talked about it with all these new things that in the college football playoff as well.
And
Where
the
when the
offenses, I mean,
and the
he
modern
set it up.
offense,
He set it up.
he talked about all the unintended consequences. And
Mhm.
it wasn't because he didn't think he could still win. Well, he's proven that he's the most dominant coach ever.
Right.
It's because you're not really helping matters. You're just giving the elite programs another avenue to dominate in. That's all
Yeah.
you're doing. And
Absolutely.
and you look at the transfer portal, you're like, well, this is going to help. And look, I have friends that are Ole Miss fans. Stephen Willis from the Y'all's Conference Network is an Ole Miss fan. They have done a great job in the transfer portal.
Mhm.
But Jake, what did Nick Saban do? He got
Right.
a starter at wide receiver, the top
Yeah.
receiver. He got a starter at running back, and he got a starter at corner.
Yeah.
I know Ole Miss
Yep.
got a quarterback, but what I'm saying is Alabama got three guys that are going to be starters and probably play 1 year in Tuscaloosa and then be first or second round picks in the draft next year.
Right.
So
Mhm.
who benefited the most as
I
far
mean,
as instant impact?
yeah, you've talked about that before. I mean, look at Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams was the most impactful player last
In the
year, even
transfer,
though,
exact.
and yeah, in the transfer portal. And he was, I think we only got two or three in the transfer portal last year, but they were impact players. It's different. I
Yeah,
mean, oh, like you said, Ole Miss pretty much got a whole new roster, but impact players is what's different about Alabama's
right.
case. So
Exactly.
so
It's
yeah.
just and Nick Saban tried to tell everybody,
Hmm.
and that's what I'm just trying to say about the expansion for the college football playoff. It's going to be a trickle down effect. I'm not saying
Yeah.
all these unintended consequences are going to show up the first year that we have expansion. I'm just saying 5, 10 years down the road, you're going to start seeing some of these things that we've been talking about tonight. You're going to be seeing teams resting players in games that don't matter because the regular season don't matter. In a 12-team playoff, Jake, Alabama can lose 2 games every single year, and they're going to be in.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll play against if we play against Mercer, we all of our starters would not play a single snap.
Yep.
You know,
And then people are like, well, once we go to an expanded playoff, we'll get rid of those cupcake games. Okay, so we're going to get rid of those, play more conference games, but they
hmm
still don't matter. They're still not going to matter
yeah,
as
exactly.
long as I mean, if Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, if they have 2 losses, they're
They're
still going
getting
to be
in
in the top. They're still going to be in the top 12.
right. Oklahoma potentially have
I,
two
I,
losses being.
yeah, I mean, I just
Yeah,
I don't see the benefit of it. I don't see where
mm-mm.
it helps. Sure, more Cincinnati's and more Coastal Carolinas and more Boise States from back in the day are going to get in. But what are they going to get in for?
I
A
mean,
participation trophy?
right. I mean, Alabama versus Coast Carolina does not excite me in the least. Yeah, I'll watch it, but Alabama will have that game won by halftime. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the truth about it.
Yep.
Georgia will, playing Coast Carolina will have that game won by halftime.
Yep.
I mean, I that don't excite me.
Sure, they
You know,
may win one out of 20 matchups.
right?
So we're going to change the way we do college football for one out of 20 chance that they win a game.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
I just don't
I understand.
understand it,
I
but
don't
it's
either.
happening. It's going to happen. Luckily, it's
Mhm.
not going to happen right now. We still have a few more years of the way it's going with the 14 playoffs. So we're excited about that. And that's really what we wanted to dive into on this episode.
Mhm.
Just we're glad that they're staying at 4 for now, but we understand that moving forward later on, eventually it's going to be an expanded field, and we'll just have to live with that once it gets here.
Yeah, we'll have something else to bitch about. you know. So,
But
oh man,
anyways, hey,
we're
we
good.
appreciate everybody jumping in. Jake, if you don't have anything else to add,
Nah,
we're gonna head out
thank
now.
y'all.
But yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, give us a big thumbs up, and we would greatly appreciate it. And let us know in the comment section what you think of the college football playoff committee's decision to remain at 4 through the 2025 season, and what you think the playoff is going to look like moving forward. But for Stacey Blackwood and Jake Thomas, this has been the Tide Talk podcast. I hope y'all have enjoyed it as much as we have. Until next time, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.